Hello everyone and welcome. I am going to make some ephemera for this sewing themed journal that I am going to be working on. And this is the cover that we made together the last time. And if you missed that, I'll put the link down below. But this is sort of a faux quilted look cover. And I'm going to make sort of a vintage sewing theme with it. And today I'm going to make two pieces of ephemera to put inside. And the first one is going to be, oh, excuse me for the glove. I have a little problem in my joint here, and this helps somewhat. So try to ignore that. I'm going to be making like a policy envelope that, normally when I make these, you don't have to measure at all, but I'm going to make it to fit this particular journaling card and these lovely photographs and this lovely lacy paper, which is one of the best digitals of lace that I've come across, is from Little Lady Papery, and I'll put that link, her shop, down below as well, so you can check her out. But I'm going to be making the envelope out of that. So I got this one sheet, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure by eye a flap that comes a little past the halfway mark. So I'm kind of thinking the halfway mark by eye looks about there. So I want to come like over there and just come in, and I'm just going to give it a fold that way. Now I am not trying to get right super tight, of course. I'm just sort of like wanting to have a little bit there so it's easy to slip the card in and out. And once I've done that, then I'm going to fold the remaining part of this over. Again, I'm trying not to butt up too tightly to the card, so I've kind of allowed, 1/8 of an inch or whatever there. And we'll just make sure that's straight down there, and we'll just give that a fold. Okay, and so that's all I really need the card for. Now, this is way too far over. I only want this to overlap about, a good 3/4 of an inch, I would say, something of that nature. So I'm just going to put a tick mark about there, which is about 3/4 of a way. You can see 3/4 of a way on that particular side. And so I'm going to take that off. Always want to save your scraps. Never get rid of those. Okay, and then this is going to be the basic fold of it. I might fold it this way because I kind of like that edge a little better. All right, so we just want to make sure that this overlaps there about 3/4 of an inch. And now, I'm going to be making some little buttons to have like a policy tie closure, but you certainly don't have to. And if you're not doing that, then you only really need to come over like 1/4 of an inch. But because I'm going to put these little buttons on, I need to come over just a hair more, just to hide the back of the brad. Is why I'm doing that. And then once you've got this folded down, and I kind of feel like maybe it needs to be a little more even. There we go. Now I have to decide the top and the bottom. So this is going to be the bottom of the envelope, and I'm going to fold up like about this much, and I would call that about 3/8 of an inch, in that vicinity, like so. And then this is going to be the flap, and if my card sits inside there, then the flap I'm going to fold down about like this here. All right, just like that. And now if you're not measuring, if you're not making it to fit a particular card, you just do this randomly. I mean, you don't have to be so precise, right? You can just fold the flap and fold this up the way it looks right to you. Now that we've gone to this point, I am going to unfold this, and I'm going to cut along that fold right across like so. I'm going to stop at the side of the envelope. So the fold I made is the one I'm going to follow, and then stop right there at the side. And then I'm going to just miter it a little bit there. Open it up and give it a little miter. There. So now this is the bottom of the envelope, and this is going to be the flap, of course. And I'm going to do basically the same thing to the flap. I'm going to cut right along here, like that, and I'm going to cut right along. It's kind of hard to see that fold because of all that lacy pattern on it. All right, so now I have this thing, because I'm putting on, putting the buttons here, I need to cover the back side of the brad. So I am not going to cut this off. If I weren't doing the buttons, I would again miter this off, and that would be your flap. But I want to keep this here just because of the hiding the back of that brad a little bit. What I will do, however, is I'm going to take off a little sliver here on the bottom, just so that it will fold a little bit better. So I'm just going to take off a little sliver right along there. Okay, just so that the flap will fold nicely and easily that way. Now I'm going to, I want to be able to get into here easily enough, because this is going to be glued down, right? This is going to be glued right to the flap, so this will be out of the way. This will be out of the way. But you'll need something, a thumb notch or something, to be able to take out your ephemera. So I am going to cut this portion down towards the center. So I'll mark my center. My pencil, where's my pencil? I'm going to eye up the center, and you can measure, of course. I'm going to eye up the center right there. And I'm going to go from that center off to the side. All right, and then I'm going to remark this so that I know where that's at. And I'm going to come down like that. So now I have this kind of a V. And it's not a perfect V, but it's okay. It would look better if I did it this way, right? But it's all right. Well, I can perfect it, I guess, because that's just what I do. Let's just come up there a little bit more. Okay. There we go. That's a little closer. So then you have this here, and I will now ink it. I'm going to ink it all the way around. So I've inked everything all the way around. Oh, probably should ink down the sides, but I can do that later. So now I'm going to put on one of my buttons, and I will sort of decide where might be a good place for all of this. All right, this looks about right. Right about here. This looks good. And I'm just going to make a little... Now, of course, I made these with a circle punch, and I made a couple layers of cardstock with a layer of scrapbook paper. So that's how I made those. I've made those quite a few times before. I think it's pretty explanatory. And then we will punch little holes here, and I'm going to go inside that. I think I'll use this punch because I'm using tiny brads. I'll just use this one this time. All right. So now I've got my 2 holes there. All right. And so now it's going to be a little tricky, because what I'm going to do now is, oh, you know what? I didn't need to do that hole. I'm sorry. Do not do this hole. You do not have to do that hole. Got ahead of myself there. That's right. Do not do that hole, because in the end, what we want to do is we want to cover up the brad. So that wasn't so great, was it? So let's just put this down like so. All right. And that way when we glue it, the brad part of it, otherwise it's going to catch on your ephemera. So no hole there. Okay. And I'm going to glue this down. And now we'll glue this down. So that way, because we overlap there a little bit, that back of that brad now is covered up. And then we can go ahead and we can glue the bottom up like that. All right. And so now we're going to be doing the top, and I'm going to go ahead and recut this again. Well, I don't have to recut it. I'm just going to trim off that pesky little white spot there. There we go. Oh, that'll be good. Yes, that's good. And then I will be putting the brad then, or the button in the brad, up here in this location, so that it's right above that. And that looks pretty centered. And we will just come in here and put that hole in there and put in our little brad. Now, what I like to do, and I got this cording, and this is hemp cord for jewelry, and it's pretty skinny. I mean, it's skinny enough even for smaller projects. I kind of like it. I like to thread in this hole the tie string that you're going to be using. Excellent. And now we have our little policy envelope, just like so. Very cute, very cute. Love this lace paper. And then our little tag, which is actually a bobbin with lace on it. Fits right inside there, and we have room for our ephemera. Now, of course, if you're not going to put these buttons on, you're not going to measure you don't want it a certain size. This is a very simple way of making a policy envelope. I want to make another piece of ephemera with you, and it's just it's nothing new. It's something we've done. You've seen done. It's like a flip over on a page. So what I want this eventually to do is flip. I love this paper here, and I'm trying to think. I think this is from My Porch Prints. I think it's her parchment paper. I'll put that below too. I want to have two sides of this card and just have it clip over the page like this. So that's what I'm going to be making. I have printed on both sides of this cardstock a print, and you know, you might want to, you know, you don't have to have both sides printed, of course. You can use scrapbook paper that's double-sided. That's always really nice. I like these little bunnies down here, and I think I'm going to try and put these bunnies so they kind of show on the other side. And we'll just cut around this. So there's the back side. Did I get my bunnies? I did pretty good, pretty good. I think they'll work. Just going to, been clipping off the corners. I kind of like that look. I don't know why, but I'm kind of liking that. And this will be the writing space inside, because I think you can write over that pretty well. And if, you know, if I decide that this is too dark to write over, I can always take some gesso and just give it a wash. Always do that if you feel like the paper is too dark and you can't write on it. And I'm going to now make a cloth, a piece of cloth to be the spine of that flip over. Okay. Yeah, that's looking good. I like that. Looks nice. And so for this, I want to put a charm on this, is what I want to do. And I got these are words, and this is from the old design shop, and the original print is larger than this, but I reduced it down to about 50%. And I think what I'm going to do is fold this over like this, and I'm going to make a little charm out of it. All right, there we have a little charm to put on the bottom of that. And we can probably work on the back side. Might do more to the front, but on the back, I envisioned having a pocket that is for this particular card. I thought this was a really cute journaling card because of the machine on the front. I think I might be going with this. And the reason being that this already has the front sewn over, or the top of the pocket sewn over. So if I were to use, say, this piece without any hems on it, I would make a hem here at the very top so that this will go in and out a little bit easier. But this actually makes it a lot easier for me to do. Okay, all stitched, all ready to go. Just perfect, perfect. I found this in my scrap pile where must have made it for something, but didn't quite go. But this little purple here, I thought, oh, look, it really kind of picks up that purple shade there a little bit. So I think I am going to put that down there, right here at the bottom, because I want some of that purple to show, and I also want these blue flowers to show. So how cute is that? And that is all done there on this side. And we can't leave that side unadorned, so I found another scrap. I always save these itty-bitty pieces, and I know they're so small, sometimes I think, oh, I'm just going to get rid of it. But, you know, I end up using so many of them. I'm going to thread a little bit of this seam binding here as a little piece of a ribbony type of thing, like so. And hopefully this fabric tack won't show through. I'm trying to put it on the more solid pieces of the crochet lace so it doesn't show through as much. And there we go, just a little piece off like that. How cute. Okay, so that is ready to go on our page. I think we have finished these, although I have one more thing I want to do to this, and that is I don't like that squareness on the end there, so I am just going to quickly snip off and angle these just a little bit there on the sides. There we go. Since everything's glued together, it'll be fine. I like this a little bit better. Yeah, that looks a little better. And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you like it and subscribe so that you can see as I build up even more things for this sewing theme journal. Thanks a lot for viewing, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.